Hey, we have a question for you. How is your ark looking? Hey friends, welcome back to the Renewed Homestead. Ben and Denise here, and that heavy panting in the background isn't Denise, that will be Belle. You just can't see her. So Noah built the ark based on God's instructions, and we're wondering, how is your ark looking? How are your preparations going? So we've got basically 5 key areas we wanted to talk about today because I think it's really important. So let's get into that a little bit here, and really let's jump right in. So first off, food security. Have you started a garden? Are you planning on starting a garden? We have some suggestions of like quick, easy things to grow that we were even able to grow in the desert in Arizona that might provide you some nutrients when you can't get them elsewhere. So what were you thinking?
Well, these are some of the easiest crops to grow, and figured especially for those of you that are new to this, you're going to want to get some plants in the ground. So tomatoes, very easy to grow. In fact, some people think of them as weeds because they, the seeds fall and sometimes they come back. I know ours come back every year.
Yeah.
So tomatoes are definitely a good choice. Green beans, very easy to grow, very prolific. You can get a decent amount of food. You can grow pole beans, which will grow up a pole, just like they say. Bush beans will grow into a big bush. Easy to grow. Strawberries. Strawberries are really easy to grow as well, and we grew actually quite a few strawberries even in Arizona.
Yeah, we did really well with those.
Yes.
Even though we watered 3 times a day in the summer.
True.
but that's where gray water comes in real handy.
Yes.
Wash your dishes and take that out and put it on your plants.
Yeah, we had some gray water systems set up. Radishes grow like weeds. They grow really well, and you can eat the radish itself, but you can also eat the greens. Beets grow really well. Yep. So radishes, beets. Basil, if you want an herb to flavor food, basil grows really well.
And I mentioned mint, and she's like, well, you have to put it in a pot. But if you are planning for bad times, mint would be really good to have because you might be eating things you're not used to, and mint will settle your stomach.
That's true.
And you just can't kill it. I mean, you could be chewing on the mint leaves just to kind of maybe...
Pretty strong.
They're strong, but it give you something to chew on rather than...
Of course, there's the guineas. Well, as we're recording, they were quiet until we started recording.
Yes, and as you can tell, the weather hasn't decided what it wants to do. We're now...
Oh, it was snowing last night. It was warm, and now it's super cold.
2 days ago, we were in T-shirts, and here we are back in coats and hats. But
yeah, Mother Nature can't make her mind. Like I think y'all saw our community post. It's like Mother Nature be throwing out numbers like the Powerball.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yes. So if you haven't thought of gardening, hopefully you have. I would at least start growing a few things. If you have a small backyard, like I said, you can get smaller varieties. I mean, green beans really don't take up that much room, especially the pole beans. You can grow basil in pots. Potatoes are also another really easy one to grow, and potatoes can be grown in containers. If you're in an apartment, if you have a balcony, it's south facing.
Just depends on where you are.
Depends on where you are.
South facing, yeah.
Yes, you could always grow on your patio. Eric Sider actually has some good videos on that, growing in small spaces. Microgreens, if you're in an apartment and you have no outdoor space, you can set up a grow light system and you can actually grow microgreens. They grow really easy, they grow really well, they have a lot of nutrition, so that can be an option for you if you are in an apartment.
And grow lights and heat mats aren't overly expensive, so you might look into doing that sooner rather than later. But
yes.
Now, you brought up strawberries, and we were trying to mention some of the things that we've mentioned come back year after year. So we're also talking about blueberries and raspberries, and that's where you want to look at companion planting because strawberries can grow in the shade of a blueberry plant. So you're getting more bang for your buck for the square space that you're planting too. So you want to look into those things.
Well, and that's a guild, right? Nothing grows in a vacuum. Things grow together. We're just kind of trying to throw easy things out there for you,
right?
That you could grow easily. But yeah, he's right. Blueberries will come back year after year. Raspberries, blackberries. Berries are great plants. They grow pretty well, and like you said, you can actually grow them with a fruit tree, if you have the space.
Right. And there are thornless varieties, because I know some of you are going, blackberries, and yes, ours have thorns.
I say our black raspberries, they grow wild here. They're worth the thorns. They're
true.
Delicious.
That's true.
Yes.
Okay, let's move.
Let's move.
All right, here we are by the bunny hutch. And speaking of protein sources, isn't that cute? So, all right, so we've got your fruits and veggies. Now we need to get some protein in you.
Yes.
And there are a lot of people out there living in HOAs. I know we used to, and there are all kinds of rules. You can't have chickens, or you definitely can't have roosters, and they have all these rules. Well, there's ways around it. Rabbits are a good way. They're quiet, and they multiply quickly. We went from 4 to 20, 18 now, very, very quickly. And the other great thing about that is their poop to feed your fruits and veggies. And
yes.
it's the best animal manure out there, because you can put it directly on your food as it's growing, whereas I think everything else has to be composted.
It has to sit for a little bit, yeah.
So
ducks can usually go in, but it's harder to collect duck poop than rabbit poop. So
that's a
that's
a slick mess.
So rabbits are a great protein source, and their fertilizer is amazing.
Yep.
So you can feed your garden and yourself at the same time.
Yep. And then there's quail, which are very quiet. They do make some noise, but not like a chicken. So there would be another source, also a source of eggs. But, if you are in a situation where, like, that we're kind of prepping for, where you are actually out working working really hard on things, you might be burning more than 2,000 calories a day. So you need to kind of take that into account. So
yes, and if you are on a small piece of property, what you can do to really get the most protein bang for your buck is to build a small fish pond. Yep. Fish are a great protein source. You can put a whole lot of fish in a smaller pond, and that will also be a great way to get some added protein along with the benefits of fish.
Yep. And there, you can look into aquaponics. It can be a little pricey to get into, but there are some good payoffs, because the fish fertilize the plants, and so you might look into that too. I always found it interesting. I don't know that we're ever going to do that here, but it's another alternative. Okay, so now let's talk about finances. Where's your money? Is it all in one bank? I know mine used to be. We've definitely diversified that out. And I'll tell you something. We went down to the bank today to withdraw some money for the GEM Foundation, and we were told they were out of money. Actually, she said, "I'm broke."
I'm broke.
Yeah, she had no money in her drawer. And this is the one teller that was working. She was working the drive-through window, both drive-throughs, and the teller line in the front.
Well, and this is a major bank. This isn't a small, but this is a major bank.
Yeah. So make sure you have some cash on hand. Mm-hmm. I always tell my kids to make sure they've got cash on hand. We advised our parents to make sure that they have their money in at least a couple different banks. It's just good.
If one closes, if something happens with one, you still have some money in another. Yeah. So it's just good to diversify if you can.
A bank closing.
Oh, I think we've heard of.
It's 2 in 2 days now.
Right. I think we're about to see a third one. But another thing that you can do, and if y'all don't follow Neil McCoy Ward, highly recommend his channel. He talked about a situation that happened. Now, he actually prints out his bank statements every month so he can show exactly what he has. He went to a bank to pull out his money, and they tried to tell him that he didn't have any money in the bank, that there was no account. Now, thankfully, he had all of his documents in order and showed the account and had printed off his bank statement. So he was able to get his money, but the bank tried to tell him he didn't have an account there. So print off your bank statement every month. I know we live in a world of, digital, and my background's IT. I like to have everything on a hard drive, multiple hard drives backed up on a computer, because I don't like paper everywhere. But when it comes to your money, definitely have proof, just in case something happens with your computer, with the hard drive, with the internet, EMP blast. I mean, we don't know. So it's just good to have a backup.
Hackers are always attacking banks.
Yep,
I can assure you, I made a whole career at Wells Fargo about trying to prevent hackers from getting into the bank.
That's true. Yes.
So, but now you can print it out, and you can get monthly statements. But like we've done for a long time, it's like, oh, I just want digital because we don't want the paper copy. Well, have it mailed to you, and I strongly suggest that you at least log on and screenshot it at least once a week. I know a lot of people do it daily now.
Along with your bank statement.
Along with the bank statement.
Yeah, to have the bank statement printed out, and then you can do this.
Well, right. Sorry. I misunderstood you there. But, oh look, it's starting to snow.
It's snowing.
Neil McCoy Ward. Here's another one. If you have not checked out Pinball, go check out Pinball Preparedness. He talks about his wife living in Russia and the monetary system over there. She had a lot of money saved up, and she was going to convert it over to American dollars. She waited one day too long, and it was half the original value. I think it was half. But, you know, with what's going on and the massive amount of money being printed now, I don't believe, as a former banker, that we can maintain that. That is my personal opinion. That is not a professional opinion, but I do not believe we can maintain that. And the dollar might be at risk. So you really want to diversify. You want to have some of that cash on hand. Like we said before, you know, we went down to the bank and they said they were broke. They were out of money. Last week we tried to go to the ATM, and I think there's normally a max of like $2,500 you can withdraw. It wouldn't let us. Apparently the ATM did not have enough money in it. But, you know, look at other diversification. You know, gold, silver, even copper. There are other options out there, and we're not advocating for one or the other.
We're not financial advisors.
No, we are not. We are just...
This is not financial advice.
We are concerned citizens. We care about our subscribers and want you to be aware as you possibly can be and prepared.
Yes.
All right. Well, if you've stayed with us, we've got two more things to cover here. And guess what? Yes, water. Now, we know that not everybody is fortunate as we are to have a stream coming straight out of the mountain with nobody above you. And we do, believe us, we appreciate it, and we include it in our prayers, and we are very, very grateful for the blessings that we have. Because if things get bad, we have clean water. So one of the things, and I've talked about it in previous videos, you know, living in the city, I've told my kids, I said, if you get any hint that there's some kind of electrical attack or anything like that, you've got to remember that there's a good chance that the plumbing is not going to work. You know, your water's not going to be coming into the house. So if you have any inkling that something's about to happen, get every single plastic tub, tucker, bag, bottle, whatever you can, and fill it up, and fill up your bathtub, because you don't know how long it's going to be before you have water again. Make sure you have some bottled water on hand if you're in the city. I mean, we don't particularly like having the plastic bottles around, but it sure beats going thirsty.
Yeah, I don't like plastic at all, but
no, but it is a way to it's a way to hold water. Now, yes. I know a lot of people out there that that do prepping and just as a practice, when they empty out a mason jar, you know, you dump out your green beans, you've eaten them, they wash the bottle, they fill it with water, and put it back on the shelf. It takes the same amount of space, whether that bottle's empty or full. There's some spare water. There's an idea for you. Definitely make sure you have a way to filter your water. You know, you can boil water. Well, what happens if the electricity's off now? You can't boil. So you need ways to boil that do not take electricity.
Yes, so filter your water.
Yeah.
Nope, I think we're good on the water.
All right, we're good on the water.
Just make sure you've got water stored, saved up. Water's life.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And Belle likes to play in the water, don't you?
Yes.
All right, and then one more thing.
Yes, medications. A lot of people in America are on medications. If you can get a 6-month supply, I would recommend doing so. Also look into what herbs might be in your area that are growing that you can take for certain conditions. We're not doctors. This isn't medical advice. But there are a lot of herbs out there that can really help you. And then find out what's around you. I mean, there are dandelions and plantain, and there are so many different things that not only are good for medicine, but that you can eat that are right around you in your neighborhood, on your property. So definitely take care of your medications. Store up as much as you possibly can just in case. And then, as a bonus, find out what local plants grow in your area. Plantain and dandelions grow everywhere. Yeah. And we've done actually videos on both dandelions and plantain that I'll put in the description box, so you can learn to identify them and what they're good for. But they're edible, and it might just keep you alive if things get bad.
There's your new banner. Don't spray them, eat them.
Don't spray them, eat them. Yes. But please don't spray your dandelions. Please don't spray your yards. Please don't spray your yards.
They're good for you. And by the way, if you're out
and good for the pollinators.
Well, yeah, the bees need them. But if you are out foraging in your neighborhood, HOA, whatever it is, make sure it's not something that's getting sprayed. The last thing you need to do is ingest weed killer.
Yes.
But another thing that you can forage for, pine needles. Most neighborhoods have pines. You can go take the pine needles and you can make a tea out of them. It's not going to maintain you for long, but it is going to give you vitamins, a little bit of nutrition.
A lot of vitamin C.
I mean, if things get really desperate, that's one way to do it that most people are going to overlook.
Mm-hmm, that's true. And there's a lot more that we could cover, y'all. We know, how to amend your garden, all this other stuff, which we have videos on. This video's already gone longer than we like to film, but we just wanted to come up with just 5 areas that might help you kind of build your ark and kind of prepare. And it's always good to be prepared. It's not always for SHTF. Sometimes it's just for job loss and I do think we're going to see a lot more job losses coming up over the next few months. And, if you haven't looked into BRICS, which is, Brazil, Russia, China, South Africa, do me a favor, just look into it.
Yes. Because Mexico is also applying for it.
Yes, and Iran and Saudi Arabia look like they're going to apply. So just do me a favor, look up BRICS and then look up petrodollar.
Yep.
So, all right.
That could really hurt our American dinero.
Yes.
Yes, but I wanted to say one more thing on the medication. Talk to your doctor. There's a lot of doctors out there that will write a script for, more than 30 days out, so that you can, at least get a little bit stored back for yourselves.
Yes, and if you want us to do a video on BRICS and the petrodollar and some of the things that are happening worldwide, it's not a homesteading subject, so that's why I haven't talked about it much. But the situation between Russia and Ukraine is extremely complicated. We're not getting the whole story through the Western media. We're not really hearing about petrodollar. We're not hearing about the BRICS nations. So if you want us to dive more into that, put a comment below. It's not a homesteading topic, so that's why I really haven't gone into it.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of information out there, though, that we're not getting to hear.
Yes.
So. All right.
So, all right, let us know. Are you prepping? Are you building your ark? Have you built your ark? What are things that you're doing to just kind of prepare and make sure that you have some protein source and, food sources just in case.
Yep. And if you just think we're crazy, put it in the comments too.
Well, we are crazy.
Well, I'm crazy for you.
Aww. We moved 2,000 miles in an RV with no property or anything, so we could get out of the city. So I think we're a little crazy.
That's true. That's very true. But anyway, all right. Well, hope you are all well, and
prayers for those in California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to bring it up, but I will quickly. A friend of ours lost his son in a car accident last night, and we know better than most that we would give anything to tell that person one last time that we love them. Reach out to somebody you care about. Let them know that you love them, that you care. And if you haven't seen them in a while, let them know you miss them. So, anyway, all right. We'll end on a happier note that
yes.
Our website is up, of course, renewedhomestead.com/shop. We've got comfrey back in stock. We've got our deodorant available. We'll have another surprise item in there really, 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 really soon.
Yes.
And anyway, we hope you're all doing well. And as Pastor Roger Gordon used to say, go in peace and serve the Lord. Take care, everybody. God bless. We'll see you on the next video.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.